So we've done well. We got him set up. Took it over. We're getting to our arm bar, but he does get his hands together, right? So if we get their hands together, whoops, I dropped my mic. One sec. Huh? If he gets his hand, man, it gotta be smarter than the thing, I'm telling you. Okay, if he gets his hands together here, right? I do want to sit, right? Could I finish on top? Probably, maybe, depending if I can get this arm extended. But now we're going to be in this kind of conundrum of more competition jiu-jitsu, if you will, okay? So first thing I want to think about is how I'm going to break his hands, okay? It's the standard thing that we go to is going to be using the body control leg to get into his elbow, okay? So if Mike does take like an S-grip like he's doing, I'm going into the pit of his elbow to push away. Now hold it tight, Mike, okay? I don't need to be jerking. I need to apply constant tension. His hands are going to weaken and get more tired than my leg is of pushing and my back is of pulling back, right? So I have the advantage. I have to be only concerned with if he knows the hitchhiker escape and knows how to do it very well so that he can be quick enough to try to escape as we break across, okay? So I want you to be aware that there's always a counter to a counter, right? So his hands together, this is the first one that we do, very basics, right? If you've never ever done any armbar defense in your life, control the head, the body control leg comes foot to the elbow. I apply constant pressure, and as I pull it here, here's the thing. I need to catch his hand. So what do? Instead of trying to go, I slide, because his arm's going to go with me no matter where it goes. Make sense? So that way, I can kind of counter that escape. If you prefer, you want to think about that escape, if his hands are together, you can always switch arms and already be grabbing the leg and make sure he's kind of going to have a harder time on his turn. Okay? Number two thing, a little bit more advanced. Maybe I'm here and it's not happening. It's a short time. I need to make sure I get his hands broke. How am I going to break his hands? We start looking at other things. How do his hands open? Where's the weak spot in his grip? I switch, so now my body side arm is coming across. You can grab your gi, you can put your hand in your hip, wherever you prefer. I come under his hand, I make a hitchhiking thumb just like he would. I'm coming at his wrist, and we do what we call starting the pot or witch's cauldron. I'm coming above his head as I extend his arm away. I'm sorry, Mike. And I come back through, I rotate back through, okay? Very simple. I'm just going to apply constant pressure. Keep that head controlled. Boom. Here's where I have to worry, because now his body can turn out, right? But as long as I keep this hand here, even if he turns, right, I can bring this elbow right into my hip pocket, and I'll find that arm bar. Otherwise, I just catch it right back here. I just make a big old circle, okay? Any questions so far?
Why do you use that leg? Why not this leg?
Let's think about concepts to finishing an arm bar. We want elbow control, number one, right? Our elbow position. That means his elbow has to be at my midsection or higher. So usually our groin or our belt knot is going to be our gauge, right? Two, I need head control. That's why I'm scooping his head. And three, I need arm control, and that's why I'm pinching. So think of it in terms of percentages, right? I've got 33.3% chance because I got three things for everything that I add on, right? You still got that 0.1% chance of escaping, but 99.9, I'll take my chances, you know what I mean? So now, let's say I'm here. I'm going to lock your hands. And I do this instead. I don't have his head, no, keep it, Mike. I don't have his head control anymore. Right? Maybe Mike's able to start rocking his legs and do a swing up to stack. Right? I don't have his head pulled down and he can start forcing me up. Okay? If I lose that head control and I lose the elbow control. Go ahead and lock. Yeah, lock hands. Now Mike, all he's got to do, I don't have his head, I can't stop his arm. Right? I don't have his arm control, I can't lock it in place. So now all he's got to do is try to drive his elbow down Once I lose that elbow control, that elbow position, then he's completely out, right? So the more we lose from these three things, the easier it is for him to escape. So this is the concept, right? If you understand these three concepts, you can finish your arm bar from any position. Okay? So back here on the escapes, again, basic, kind of step A, I'm pushing. Step 2, I can start working the wrist, right? If I can't break it, or if I don't prefer that, or if I'm a little bit more advanced, I got some color on my belt, I can start looking for wrist locks. Okay? So again, we want to look at kind of which way his hands are here, right?
Yep.
Okay? So I'm just kind of doing like a cow hoof here on him here, right? Yeah, if I can pull this in and start working there. There's twisting wrist locks here too.
Yep.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sure.
Right? And then I like to show this always. I can't get it.
Yep.
I just put my hand in his throat. You'll be surprised how often things like this work. Right? He's holding for dear life. I'm just here. Okay? Any questions? Huh?
I like that. Sometimes for breaking grip, doing the like pulses is better than constant pressure. I've tried that for arm bars. It doesn't seem like it works better than constant pressure. Is there a reason? Like you do one or the other? You know what I mean?
So I like to think about this. If I'm pulsing, or if I'm giving big yanks, even if it's not big yanks, just pulses, right? What are his escapes, right? So when we start learning about armbar escapes, and he does his hitchhiker escape, he's counting on knowing when he's going to let his grip go, right? So if I'm here, let me do it a few times, and then you do it unexpectedly, right? I'm here, right? And then he's going to go, right? He's going to be out. So you have to have a really good control on your pulsing. And that's why, number one, no hands. Elbow to elbow instead. Everything stays tight. And then if I am going to pulse, maybe just little short things here. Don't be focused on pulling back as much as I'm trying to kick this arm away, right? Because once I'm here and that's away, he's not going to get his hands back together, right? I can chase him with my foot, whatever I need to do, okay? And by the time this is out, now it's time for me to sink, okay? That's a good question. Anybody else? Anybody see it again? No? All right, let's do it. 1, 2.